I'd like to call this meeting of the Madison Public Schools Board of Education to an open and rise for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I know it is not on the agenda, but we have a new board member. I would like to heartily welcome Tony Paolino, who is our newest board member. He was appointed to Christine Maisano's vacated seat, and the Board of Selectmen appointed him officially last week. And he was sworn in, so he's Friday now. So you are street legal. Welcome.
Thank you.
Look forward to it. Hey. So next is our school community session. Any public participation?
So during, I'll just announce, so at meetings such as tonight, we welcome public participation and public comment, whether you're joining us in person or online. We just ask that folks give their name and address, and comments are limited to 3 minutes. Board meetings like tonight's are not a time for discussion, so members of the public should expect that you will respond, but will be followed up after if necessary. Do we have anyone on Zoom tonight who would like to participate? We do not. Anyone in person? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so next is the superintendent's report, Dr. Cook. I'm sorry.
The kids aren't, the students aren't here.
Yes, we didn't have the student reps come. It's the first day of school.
Okay.
So the one, they had a lot going on. We got a busy group again this year, and two, we didn't think they'd have a lot to report.
Yeah.
Summer's over.
By having to say that, there's something missing over there.
Yes, no, but yeah, we'll have our 2 student reps here on the 16th. Great, thank you.
Thank you. So observant.
Well, it was just everything.
Yeah. So Dr. Cook, superintendent's report.
Thank you, Chairman Baskin. First off, I wanted to recognize my 2 interns, one who's here tonight from the University of Connecticut. Joe Corso is the principal of Lyman Hall High School in Wallingford. Joe is very familiar with our school district, and Mr. Solitari. They go back a ways, and we're thrilled to have Joe with us. And then also online, I believe Matt Talmadge is the principal of Westbrook High and Westbrook Middle. He got promoted to cover the high school over the summer. Matt joins us from CCSU. It's currently about 30 superintendent openings in the state, so I think it's important to work with administrators who want to become superintendents. So I'm thrilled to have 2 join me this year, and it helps because I think that I have them work together a lot. They attend meetings, as you know, so you'll see a lot of Joe in that throughout the year. It's a great district for them to get experience in and get to know everybody. As the board knows, it was our first day of school. It was a first day that really we've been working on for 3 years, since even before the passage of the renewal plan. We've been working to get ready for today, and it was just a tremendous start to the school year. 4 schools was a little bit different, going to 4 versus 6. But it was just a great atmosphere. Beautiful weather helps always. Excited students and teachers who, for the middle school and high school, they didn't have quite as much to get ready for this school year. So they were really thrilled to be with students after 5 days of professional development, which I will say that the schools did a great job of planning great professional development for them. But the elementary teachers who all moved this summer, so I want to thank them. It's oftentimes you might have a small percentage of your staff move, and that's a pretty big undertaking, but all of our elementary staff moved in some way, whether within the building or outside the building to a new building. and they had lots of time where they weren't able to get to their stuff or get to their classroom, so they were very anxious and thrilled when we opened up a little bit early for them. So just great flexibility on our staff to get ready. Lots of work went into it. We did have a very smooth opening to the day, transportation wise, but a little bit of a rocky end to the day, transportation wise. So we had some backup as we expected on Mungertown Road, and we're already working with the bus company to alleviate and have different plans for that. But then also some very late buses at Brown School, a little bit even more than a normal year. We still cleared by about 4:50 this afternoon, but remember we start earlier, so we had hoped that would be even earlier. But I'm sure by the end of the week we will be around 4:30 or a little bit earlier for clearing buses. So some work still to do, but we're really in a good place. And as I toured the buildings, so much going on academically already. Teachers getting right into instruction and building those class communities. So it was great. We received a report from our facilities director, and I know Emily's going to go over a lot of that, so I won't take too much of that. But he and his staff and our moving company moved 4,658 boxes over the summer in room contents. Just teachers' desks, materials. So it was a lot of work that went into that. Technology was very busy. We have 675 new Chromebooks that were installed, as well as lots of new technology devices. So all the new equipment they have to work with, that was at Neck River. And then HR hired over 25 teachers. We had a lot of retirees last year, as staff that were promoted, staff that had resigned over the summer. So a lot of work for HR, and then our administrators were working all summer, building their new school communities, building new processes and procedures to get ready for that. Our high school administration had to work out of the middle school over the summer, except for Mr. Salvatore, who stayed with the ship when there was no AC. And if TJ, he loves his AC, so for him to be over there, it was difficult on him. But they did just phenomenal work. Olson hosted everything that we did this summer. So, big thank you to everybody. A lot of flexibility from start to finish, and it was a culmination of 3 years of work. So it's really exciting to come off with some bus issue in the afternoon, but really in terms of the student academic day, I think we had the mark. So thank you to everyone. Thank you to the board for their support. Many teachers shared with me their thanks for you all in supporting the building project and how excited they were in the school building. So if you haven't run into many teachers over the summer and they hadn't had a chance to thank you, I know that they sent their thanks to you. So thank you. That's it. We're ready for day 2 tomorrow. Capital improvement plan. So I know this is something we typically deal with, either our meeting in August or in September. I have Stacy here. Peter presented it earlier. We do have an action item later on, so I'm willing to talk about it, or want to handle it when it comes up for an action item. Willing to handle that either way, but we are hoping to get a approval of the document tonight to be able to move it forward for the town. They are waiting for our submission of that. And then what's interesting to do on your first date, we're already planning graduation date. We have a lot of moving parts to need to happen for that. So June 17th is the date that the class of 2026 who just became seniors will graduate. We've reserved the green and the technology that we need to do that. They are still the committee is still talking about potentially bringing back Night in Hand. So just wanted to give you that heads up. A lot of work still needs to happen, and ultimately that's a decision of that committee. But I just wanted to let you know that is a discussion. I know last year's Night Out of Hand was a success, so I know that they're getting feedback from students. I know there's a survey that went out, and they're getting more feedback on that as what this senior class would like to do. But ultimately, it relies on our volunteers. So it's ultimately volunteers and contributions. So. Nice. I think.
Questions for Dr. Cook?
Do we want to discuss CIP now or when it's an action item?
Oh. Yeah, did you cover that too? I'm sorry.
I spoke with, I was
Either
flexible,
one.
either one, yeah.
You
So,
can do it when an action.
Yeah, because we have an
Yeah,
action.
there's
item, so,
action.
yeah.
I just want to clarify.
Thank you. All right, board member comments. First of all, I'd like to start by just saying, amazing work by everybody involved getting the transition accomplished for the beginning of this school year. It was a breakneck summer. It's been a crazy, 2.5 years really, for everyone involved, and everything came together really so perfectly, and the overall age of our physical plants is way down. Our CIP that we're gonna cover tonight is way down compared to what it used to be to maintain our buildings. The fact that we as a board, it was important to us to ensure that there was some parity and some like refreshment of Brown so that it would so it wouldn't be so difficult on the folks from the north being concerned about having a new school. And the way Brown looks right now is amazing. Like, it's night and day, totally different school. A third of it technically is new. The whole library media center is redone as well. And they're one of the only elementary schools in the state to have a full auditorium and stage. So there's really a lot of great stuff going on around the whole district, and thank you to the board for supporting all of that. I'd like to make an impassioned plea for everybody to sign up if you can to go to the CABE conference. We get a lot of professional development there as board members. This year it's gonna be the delegates assembly that I go to is on the 20th of November, but then the conference itself will be Friday, the 21st, and Saturday, the 22nd of November. So if you can keep those dates, and you should have already gotten information about that, and hopefully you already got back so that we can sign up under the early bird discount. But at any rate, if you haven't, it's not too late. Please sign up. Anyone else for board member comments? Yes.
Neck River was under budget and on top.
yeah, okay, yep.
Just for the record.
Do we have an actual number? or-
No, we don't have a number that's as good as I've gotten out of the building committee. Is that we are, on time, obviously, in under budget. So, yeah, it's been good. I think that they're figuring that out. I believe if you push me for an answer, I would say it's over $1 million under budget. So I think it's in that ballpark. So,
Everybody can have a real number though.
as soon as I have it, you will have it. But
I
I think
think it's important though for the public to know, there was a lot of, discussion about whether or not we were gonna have a new elementary school and then the cost of it, and then, it was built very fast, and I'm hoping that the families, that their children are attending as of today, that they are finding that they're getting their money's worth. It's a beautiful building and it's very modern and up to date, and I think that the public should, if they haven't already had a chance somehow to go and see, because it's really an amazing modern facility, and we should be proud of it, and thank you to the voters for voting for it.
I just had something to say about that. So we had people there during the ribbon cutting, taking pictures and talking to us. And then when the newspaper, the Stars came out, there was just no pictures of it. It would have been nice to have had, a display so people that got the newspaper could see some of the rooms and. I did.
I do know for a fact that we supplied the pictures to the source.
Yeah, just.
They're on our website.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
not saying.
yeah, no, I hear you,
I
yeah.
just was
You
not
can't control the news.
disappointed. No, I was so disappointed. I mean, they had the one picture of the ribbon cutting and then the rest of nothing. inside.
Is
Yeah.
that a safety thing though? Are they?
Some areas we are very careful about,
Maybe
but
murals or.
yeah,
Mm.
right, yeah, so we'll continue to work on that, and then I will say we will, we're looking for the right time to do public tours. I think that, you know, the community deserves that, the way to visit the building for those who haven't had an opportunity. You know, it's you know, it's been a long time since we got a new building in town, and it's not like a high school where, you know, people are gonna be in a lot for other reasons. So we'll continue to work on the right thing, but we wanted to get through the important part, and as you know, shared, the playground is not gonna be open until Monday, so it got completed in terms of the install, but then it has to wait for 3 days, and they have to test it on Friday, so there was a lot of things still kind of happening right up until the end, so that was another thank you,
That's a pre-K.
no, all the
all of it.
playgrounds, yeah, so you can imagine. We have fifth graders staring out at the basketball courts are usable, but I think we've fenced those off, but yeah, they're ready to go, but the zip lines and things like that you know, that they're waiting, so again, you know, I know I thanked you about the calendar, but that's just another simple way that the board supported this being a smooth start, is giving us that 5 days at the beginning. We didn't have that, we would have had to delay the installation of that material, so it was fortunate, it was really well planned out in terms of the calendar, so thank you again for that too.
I will say that I got a little feedback from a teacher who said that the teachers really appreciated that 5 days for preparation. Asked that it continue in the future. I don't know that that would be possible, but I promised to carry forward their recommendation. They also shared that they felt that a lot of other teachers felt the same way, but I just thought I'd share that. I think it might make sense for us to also maybe plan to have a meeting, a Board of Ed meeting, at Ryerson. I mean, sorry, sorry, not at Ryerson, at Brown. Sorry, at Brown, and maybe do like a public tour of Brown, like maybe have it on a facilities night, a facilities meeting night. So we do like a little tour, then our facilities meeting, then the board meeting. Because I really think board members and members of the public would benefit from seeing like tremendous changes in that school.
Sure.
So. Stephen.
I'd just like to underscore and highlight the professional development that was done with teachers, and also underscore that there was a great deal of curriculum work that was done over the summertime. You know, many teachers, many hours, and as everybody on the board knows, you know, this district's investment, serious investment in teachers and teacher training is the direct corollary to the success this district has had, so, you know, it's worth noting.
Thank you, good point. The other?
I'll just comment about how fantastic convocation was last week. It was a really exciting, I know there were several of us there, the energy in the room, recognizing staff who've been here for 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years. It's just amazing to recognize how long they've been here and hear the crowd just go wild for their colleagues. And then of course having Miguel Cardona there to give remarks. The energy in the room was just great, especially like with so many new teachers in the district. It was a really talented, you know, student performers. It was a really exciting way to start the school year, so.
I agree there wholeheartedly, well said. Thank you very much, Dr. Cook, and so for all your work, that's wonderful.
Is there a video of that watch
There
in case
is.
we missed
Yeah,
it?
we have Dr. Cardona's comments on video, we can discuss with you, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
exciting to see the teacher of the year and the parent of the year, and they give amazing speeches, it's grateful.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah. Always a great event.
It is.
Right, any other board member comments? Lively today. Look at that. Okay, any audience response to information presented so far? Nope, okay. Now for our board committee and liaison updates, starting with curriculum and student development committee, Stephen.
We have not met since the last board meeting, so no report tonight.
Thank you. Facilities committee.
Yeah.
Emily.
So we did meet tonight. We had a very full meeting. Peter started off giving us updates on the summer work, of which you are all aware. There was a lot of it. In fact, he said he's worked in education for 40 years and he's never seen this much work happen in such a short period of time. So pretty amazing. Other than the big items, which I'll talk about, some extra projects that were sort of accomplished, the Wilson Health Office. The high school gym has a new audio system, which sounds very easy to use. They soundproofed the cafetorium at the high school and then replaced the new flagpole at the high school. And then the projects that I think everyone was well aware of, the rooftop units were all replaced at the high school. That went well. The building, I understand, is balanced. There's no freezing areas and no warmer areas, which I know has been an issue in the past. At Brown, they completed the interior signage and wayfinding. There are some murals added. At Brown, they completed site work, the pre-K playground and landscaping, as well as expansion of the parking lot. Installed a dishwasher, which is very exciting. Big news at Brown. They never had one before. In fact, when we toured Neck River, I wanted to see their dishwasher because I didn't even know that was a big deal, but it is. They have a new exterior walk-in freezer at Brown. The pre-K room conversions went great. Library and Media Center is beautiful and freshly renovated. And they also did refresh the hallways near the art room. So when we have a meeting or facilities meeting or they're at Brown, we can see that in person. And then, as you all know, Neck River is fully operational. You heard about the playgrounds, you heard about the boxes, everything is rolling right ahead on that. We did, Diane had a good question about what's still in Jeffrey and Ryerson in those buildings. Ryerson, the cafe gymatorium area, has a lot of old desks in there. And then Jeffrey has basically some old file cabinets and staff desks, old kitchen equipment. So a lot of the Jeffrey stuff went over to Brown. So they're looking through it and taking sort of what we can. He said a lot of those items were dated on 1979, 1980. We got our money's worth on a lot of that stuff. So once the town takes possession of the buildings, then it's sort of up to the town to decide how they want to proceed. Town departments will have a chance to walk through and see what they might like. Maybe there'll be a townwide tag sale. So stay tuned on that. And then also Diane asked about the playgrounds at both of those sites because they are still there and in use. So that's something that we will discuss with the town to sort out, you know, who's sort of overseeing those playgrounds and maintaining them and making sure they're safe and stay that way. And then the current projects and ongoing, so the Polson HVAC auditorium and gym, that project is still going according to plan. Bids will be coming in the next month or so for that work, which will happen starting over the next summer. So big stuff there.
So that's gonna happen next summer?
The majority of it, yes.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
thought that they had said 2025, but that's 2026, right?
Yeah.
They had a lot to
For
do.
the auditorium.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah.
I mean, a lot of work is happening to get to that point, but the major work will happen, starting this summer, so we keep it open as long as possible too.
And also because it was the one building around that was open for students this summer too, sort of impacted the timing of that. And then we spent the remainder of our meeting reviewing the CIP, which as you, we did discuss it at length. There are some minor changes to the version that was in your pocket that we can talk about. We did, as a facilities committee, unanimously move to make it as presented and updated tonight to the board for action. I think it makes sense to talk about it when we get to that action item, and maybe we can go through line by line at that time and discuss some of the more specific details. That sounds okay to everyone.
Sure. Yep. Any questions? Thank you. Good report. Finance committee, Galen.
Zip, nil, nada.
Quick report. Personnel committee, Maureen.
Personnel committee will be meeting in a couple of weeks on the 15th to resume our negotiations for the nurses meeting.
Policy committee, Diane.
We have not met, we will be meeting on September 16th.
Okay. Learn liaison, Mary Ann.
We have nothing.
Okay, and tonight, we wanted to add a periodic town facilities committee. There's the ad hoc town facilities committee that I serve as the Board of Ed's liaison. To, and so Mary Ann had asked, and I wanted to make sure to give you an update. So that has been a slow rolling committee from its inception a little over a year ago, because we started out with just kind of taking stock of all the facilities and also the little pockets of land owned by the town around the whole town. We built 2 acres here, 800 square feet there. There's a lot of them. There's like, I think it was like 1,250 or some odd acres of land here and there. Or 1,250 like pockets of land here and there. So a preliminary report was prepared and presented, I believe, in April to the Board of Selectmen. So they accepted that report. And then the facilities committee started working on, we had the referendum where we learned that we were not going to go forward as a town with the community center at Academy. So that caused a lot of questions to come up about facilities use in particular, because the town feels that it needs more space for town staff generally, but especially Madison Youth and Family Services, because that was going to be built into the community center, and also I think Beaches and Rec was partly going to be housed over there. So now there's a scramble to figure out where we're going to put those offices. So there needs to be some study done, a broad study that how do we fix all these moving parts to and fit them together, which was the whole purpose of the ad hoc town facilities committee to begin with, was to kind of take a long-term holistic view so that we're not like fixing one thing over here, then having to pay a lot to fix it, to build something else here, when we could have built one thing that would have done both. And that sort of thing, so we're not chasing our tails. So right now, the ad hoc town facilities committee is working on an RFP for consultants to review potential uses and cost scenarios for Memorial Town Hall, Jeffrey School, and Ryerson School. Before anyone gets too excited, it is most likely that, you know, the recommendation is gonna be to demolish Ryerson. But, you know, it would be irresponsible to not at least look into that for some of the town needs that we still
Wasn't that
have.
already in that referendum, I thought, the demolish, we
No,
were supposed to.
no, there was the original. The original referendum project budget had a line for demolishing
Right.
Ryerson. But the budget question itself did not have that, and so by law and by the rules, the law of referenda. The laws surrounding referenda are very strict and very narrowly construed, and you can only really talk about, are we going to fund
Yes.
a project, yes or no? Like a lot of people are, how come we couldn't vote for this or that? You're not allowed to. It's just, here's the money the town is looking to spend. Do you vote yes or no on it? So,
I guess just because Ryerson was no longer usable as anything, we figured.
well, the town still may pay to demolish it using other funds. I mean, we're getting a bunch of money back from reimbursements on the new school project. and some other things. So there may be funds available on the town side to demolish Ryerson. They may be looking to take that off of the Board of Ed's hands. Really was never in our,
Well, don't we
Within
give that
our-
back? I mean, aren't all those?
they all go back to the town. It becomes the town's responsibility, yes. So it was never our responsibility as a board. But the other thing is, if the town does that and takes the responsibility for demolishing out of the new school's budget, then that will allow the new school to, after it serves the 1 year to get the new roof warranty cleared, then we could use that money to put solar on the new school. And that would reduce the new school's energy by about $220,000 a year, and it would be a net zero building. So I think the town is thinking it might make more sense to allow that money to be used for that. And then, but all this stuff is outside of the Board of Ed's
Yeah.
aegis, and it's not for a vote for us. Yes, Diane.
I have a statement and then a question.
Okay.
Statement's gonna be brief and I really want no comment on it.
We'll see about that.
I'm just saying, I think it was, when the Board of Ed was given the initial, referendum with all the numbers and that line item with Ryerson, I think we all pretty much expected Ryerson then to be demolished. End of statement. Question is, what about TCLC? That's not included in the, what are we doing with Memorial Town Hall, Jeffrey and Ryerson, but what about TCLC?
My guess and what they've been talking about is that's gonna have to be knocked down because it's like,
Well, that's.
30-year-old. well, that's 30-year-old temporary trailers that, like, if I walked on it, my foot would go through because I'm.
Well, I mean, there's a
Large.
temporary trailer at Jeffrey as well.
That also need to, yeah, probably go. So, but again, that's all stuff for the
Yeah,
town.
I just figured if you're looking at everything that the town owns, like.
It-
Do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Academy,
That's part of,
right?
yeah, exactly. So, but I think that's gonna be part of these studies as well, it's just be subsumed within. We have these 3 facilities left over, plus we have Memorial Town Hall. What are we
A lot
gonna
of
do with
stuff.
all of them? Yeah. So, but this RFP is not related to Academy and any use for Academy. I think the Board of Selectmen themselves is working on, Academy. and they haven't kicked it to the ad hoc town facilities committee. So that's the update, and we'll do these periodically, so we can keep you guys updated. Sure, thank you for requesting. Had to overlook that.
No, I have another question.
Yes,
Are we gonna have like a periodic, Board of Selectmen liaison update?
That's, I was gonna ask that.
yes, and I think we talked about quarterly, so.
Yes, yeah,
It's gotta be.
I know we usually conflict with some other meeting, but I just.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, he's on several
Especially with
other
all that going on.
boards, but we've reached out to him in the past. We haven't not yet this year, but we'll share the meeting dates and have them select, 1 per quarter at least.
That's what I.
All right, so now we move on to the exciting action item part of the night. And here we get to talk about the 26-27 capital improvement plan, but I need a motion first to approve the 26-27 capital improvement plan. And then we can have a discussion on it.
I'll make that motion. I'll
Okay.
second.
Thanks, Emily. And thank you very much. All right, so motion's been made. I'll open it to discussion. I don't know if Emily, if you want to start by explaining what we went over on the CIP this year.
Yeah, I can just sort of talk us through, everyone has the document in the packet, and
It's
Peter
really
here.
big. They had-
So Peter, will you just be on call if I? That's anything else?
Just say one piece before, and that, just a reminder. The only piece that goes forward is the 5-year plan. So you'll see that the 10-year plan out there, that's for the board's purposes only. For planning, we have a lot of work still to kind of do now that we have a new district configuration, for instance. There's money in there for the Brown Auditorium, to reconsider that. But now that it's an elementary school, it may be on a different scale than what's in there. So we have still work to do on those, the 5 years out, but the 5 years that are shaded, that's what goes forward. Sorry, thank you.
So we'll just go through it row by row. So right at the top, you see here district-wide facilities, planning and engineering, 25,000 for each year, and then school security, 75,000 for each year. Diane, requested that we see, well, you can explain your request.
Sure. So, what I would like to see is itemization and utilization. We haven't always had these 2 line items, and I'm trying to remember exactly when we started doing that. I think it was like almost my first year. Like what, 6 years now or something? So we haven't always had those 2 line items. These are in addition, and just to remind everyone that this school security line is not the only line we have. In our annual budget, we have a line item for school security. This is district-wide and it's a lump sum of 75K. And so since we started putting this in the CIP, my thought was just that I would like to see an itemization of what we have used on a yearly basis since we've started this. And just what it's been utilized for, just so that we know going forward, like, do we actually need 75K? We have a brand new elementary school, which should be completely up to date with security. We've been updating our security in all the schools, and we've done, I think, a really good job. Better something that. But I think, you know, going forward, do we actually need an extra 75K besides our line item in our budget? And so the only way to know that is to see what we've actually used it for on an annual basis. And I did ask this question this afternoon, so I didn't actually expect that information tonight, but I think it's good information for the entire board to have, and whether or not we need to have that in an executive session. Obviously for security reasons, or, you know, what can be open to the public and what not, so that's up for discussion. And then the other thing was the 10-year planning and engineering. One of the things that I had liked to see in the past was, I know a lot of times you would see, like, in the first year, you would see a certain amount of money for planning and engineering, and then the next year you would see that, you know, 1 point whatever million for whatever it is, like baseball field or whatever it was that we were having in CIP. And so I know that we have this 25K and it's not very big. But again, I would like to see, since we've implemented this, what have we used it for specifically, itemization and utilization? And it wasn't something that like I die on that hill. It wasn't like I need this information before I can vote for the CIP, but I think it's useful information for the board to have going forward.
And there was some discussion about examples, like for the planning and engineering to do something like that allows us to do more sort of forward planning of preventive maintenance, planning ahead for not the emergency needs. And then for, you know, examples for school security, like that could be ongoing costs for different systems or contracts, but we can get that information and that will be, you know, provided. I'm gonna move on to the next one, which is the high school. You'll see here, in the shaded orange one, we've got $25,000 for crack sealing in the lots and driveways. This was going to be a bigger project sooner to do a lot more paving, but after close examination, they realized that we can squeak out some more time from those parking lots. So 25,000 just to maintain them a little bit longer. And then that's the only line for this first year, but then looking ahead other years in the high school, a big item roof replacement. You'll see in the plan you have, it's in the 29-30 year, but we recommended and based on Peter's in fact to put that forward to do that work in the summer of 2027. The roof that we have now is the original from 2003. It'll be 24 years old, and there's definitely wear and tear on that roof in particular. Peter said when the HVAC units, rooftop units be placed there, that's just additional damage being put on the roof, and then really being able to see the current state. So so we did approve moving that forward to do that work the summer of 2027. 27, 28.
I have that version.
Oh, thank you, so.
Yes, you're gonna say it.
And then also on that note, there is reimbursement, state reimbursement on the roof around 25%. So that we can anticipate some of that coming back. And then there was a question in our HVAC meeting this morning, for Polson. Just in case you're wondering, since we have all our rooftop units, they're on like slabs, curb adapters is how they refer to them. So just because we have new rooftop units, they're put in a way that we can still replace the roof without, it's
Because
not.
when they say the roof needs to be replaced, also. They said when they went up there that.
Yeah, so we're getting there too, but this is, yeah, but for hand, they're gonna move it up. Any questions about that?
Just, I believe I heard, and I just want to make sure that, that recommendation to move forward the roof replacement is doable on our CIP, right?
Yes.
Finance fiscally.
Yes.
For Paulson?
Yeah, so,
A hand for hand.
For-
Talking about hand.
and in terms of, we look at the 5-year funding always, and, this all could get changed, you know, it has to go through the Board of, Selectmen and Board of Finance. But, you know, we feel like with the reimbursement in place, and then, it's basically looking at the same total amount for the 5 years, of course.
Isn't there escalation of like 4% a year when you push something out?
Yeah, so even when we go the other way, I asked Ben and Peter that today, they didn't feel that that was worth reducing it.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, better safe than sorry. Exactly.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Could potentially save money.
I will mention again, 25% reimbursement for the roof is estimated. I want to make sure that was stated. Then the next item is under fiber replacement. That's in 29-30 year, that'll stay there. Treatment plan capital maintenance, that's 475,000 in 28-29. That is the treatment plant for Polson and for the high school. And that's regular maintenance. The next one is furniture replacement, 200,000 out in 20-30-31. And then we see the pavement restoration full site, just about $1.2 million in 20-30-31. And then the final item in this 5-year plan is generator replacement for about $246,000 in the 27-28 fiscal year. Any things that I missed or any questions about any of those items? Stephen, you're good, did I miss anything? Peter, good so far? Yes, Tony?
Just in general, the column where it says priority. See numbers ranging from 1 to 8, that doesn't necessarily translate to how soon it has to be done, correct?
Do you want to speak to that, Peter?
No, you know, we always see everything as a priority. No, it doesn't correspond with that. If it gets into the 5-year, then it's generally happening.
It's funny because we used that priority system in the past to help us like really map out CIP. We started using it when we were trying to figure out the 10-year plan. To promote schools renewal.
I don't even.
And I don't know why it's still there.
Yeah,
but-
it might not be, I know, we were like, oh yeah, I never even noticed that.
Yeah,
That's not priority 8, and it's being done right away.
Part of it is that
Well, the first
CIP,
column
you have
already
to
done.
do things in sequence, and you have to like. You can't just jump the queue, you can't just jump the line and put your own pet project ahead of the others. So that's part of it.
Exactly. If the board's okay, we'd like to take it off. Yeah, I think it was a good exercise when we did it, but what happened was everything with safety and security was one.
Yeah.
Anything with maybe athletics became less important, but then those things would never get done. And as Galen said, you know, the Board of Selectmen, Board of Finance like us to see it sequentially move forward unless we have a really strong rationale why not, and that's where I think the roof comes in. So, talk about.
Okay, so should we move on to
Yeah.
Folsom?
So then next is Polson, not a whole lot happening here. You'll see just walk-in coolers replacement for 85,000 and then library replacement furniture for 150,000 in this next year. Following, we have money for some pavement repairs, 25,000. And you'll see further out of sight of the 5-year plan, we have the full pavement restoration. Which is in, what is that year? 31. Yeah.
31.
So, and we had talked about if it made sense to do the paving at the high school and at Polson at the same time. That's come up in the past, but Peter, so there really isn't economies of scale with doing that work, and also that we sort of lose that entire campus if we pave everything. I mean, not really, but it would be pretty disruptive. So that at this point is staying where it is.
And both jobs are really big.
And they're both enormous jobs. It's not like throwing together 2 medium jobs to make it, gets a better value.
And where's the auditorium at?
Colton, that's part of our special,
That's not on CIP, that's
Oh,
under
okay.
schools renewal.
Oh, that's right.
that's the reference,
And the HVAC is on that too.
correct?
Yes.
So the Polson HVAC, auditorium and gymnasium improvements are all
on.
separate.
And they'll be done next summer.
Yeah.
But the roof, they had discussed, the roof was.
So they're gonna keep an eye on that. That
Yeah.
didn't come up today. I'm glad you brought that up.
Before putting the HVAC.
So Peter was saying it actually makes sense to do the guys messing around on the roof and bringing up their toolboxes and the HVAC and the units. They're going to damage the roof no matter what. And so it makes more sense to have them damage an older roof and then we look at replacing. I mean, that sounds more dramatic, I think,
And,
than.
and the rooftop units are like on stanchions, so
yeah.
you can replace the roof around it,
Right, that's.
once it's.
But we wouldn't wanna put a new roof in and then have them.
Well, it just says, so far out.
We discussed this, it'll be evaluated, I think, well before then, and if it needs to move up. Because as Peter said, no one wants the roof to leak.
Yeah.
But it is a significant expense maintaining the roofs, as you said, Peter, right?
Yeah, we spend currently anywhere between $25,000 to $20,000 per building. At Danny and Olson, just repairing roofs. And so we can carry that out, but there's a point where you'll have to stop that because you just can't repair a roof that becomes irreparable.
So, I mean, we might see that after they
Mhm.
replace the HVAC,
That
they might damage, they might get up there and the roof is more damaged from that, and then we might have to move it up just like we're doing by hand, but time will tell.
And then it is outside the 5 years, but there you also see windows on here, and again, windows and the roof are eligible for state reimbursement. So just to keep that in mind.
28%, I think.
Any comments about Polson? Okay. So then, we are down to Brown Elementary School. A lot has happened, as you all know, on the CIP and this year. So the only, no items this fiscal year, the next would be, the cafe flooring and then kitchen renovation. And then, we did talk about, Diane raised the question of would it make sense to do those projects at the same time? So that's something that, Peter is going to consider, but both of those would need to be, their priorities that the tiles are not in great shape, so those would be done later. And then that's about it. Windows,
Replacements, which again is.
yes,
subject
that's
to
the window
reimbursement.
replacements, yep. So same thing, we have new windows in portions of the building, but as Peter mentioned, you can probably see like the windows are old, and they're, what do you call it?
See, lost their glazing. So
Yeah.
they've bogged over the condensation, there's condensation that's developed between the two paints.
Oh. So those are another big ticket item a few years out.
But that's not all the windows, because again,
Right.
Brown already had new windows installed as part of the building.
Any questions about Brown? And then we have athletics. So we have the baseball field improvements this coming year. And then further out, we have the high school field, the inside track, which is replacing the turf in the middle of the track. And then we have additional programs outside the 5 years. But that's it for athletics.
So I just want to point out, because this, putting our past hat on instead of our present hat on, when this board was supporting schools renewal. We were looking at a 10-year projection of spending over $110 million on facilities maintenance. And we reasoned to the public, and see, listen, and they asked schools renewal, that would reduce our physical plant age overall, and it would really bring down our 10-year maintenance. And I just want to point out that it went from over, we had 7 facilities and it was over $110 million to now 4 facilities, and our 10-year prospective is only $43.8 million. So now I know we spend money to get there, but this will go beyond 10 years too, because now we have much younger schools and newer physical plant stock. So thank you, public, for helping us to get there.
I have a question that I forgot to ask.
Yes.
So I know we're only really looking at the 5-year plan for us to vote on tonight, but when we're looking at the overall 10-year plan, I'm just curious with the Neck River, with the new school, is there anything like in that year 10 or coming up to year 10 that we would be looking at to put into CFP?
Not at this point, no.
Just don't know how long things last.
Yeah, I
You
think
get
we
like 13 to 15 years
Yeah,
before you really
the
begin.
big ticket item, like for example, that's 30 years. So we can't even, I don't even consider that, it's not even close to thinking about that.
But like kitchen appliances,
They generally go about 20 years.
Yeah.
Appliances, you could get a like, I mean, there's some things that will fail early just because they do. But for the most part, there's other stuff that's regular maintenance, pumps, so on for facilities that we just absorb as a maintenance cost of not a capital improvement.
Great. If
All right, so does anyone else have any, thank you, Emily, that was really good to lead us through that, thank you. Does anyone else have any more discussion points, questions before we vote? Then I will call the question, all in favor of approving the 26-27 capital improvement plan as described this evening. Ayes, say aye.
with
I
the
think-
change.
Aye.
Yeah.
With the changes as discussed tonight, aye. Any opposed, any abstentions, motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. Okay, action item 8, I need a motion to approve a donation from Daniel Hand High School Boys Soccer Boosters to the varsity boys soccer team in the amount of $2,500 for jerseys.
So
I'll take Daphne and you also. Maureen, thank you. Any discussion? Very generous, thank you.
Yeah.
All
Is this
right.
like part of the uniform or part, or just like
Yeah,
outside of
it's-
the uniform or?
For jerseys, yeah.
No, it's for the specialty kids that they'll wear certain like ceremonial things.
Ah,
It's different-
sweet.
That's the same thing applies with the next item too.
Okay.
I just
Like
looked
special.
exactly as they say it on the sheet where they
Oh.
put it in the donation form, but you've done it in football jerseys before for the special like 70th, whatever.
Oh, okay,
That kind of thing.
or like, pink ones for.
Yeah.
Like that
and
sort of
these
thing.
say what?
Okay. Great. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries 9-0. Action item 9. Similarly, I need a motion to approve a donation from the Daniel Hand High School girls soccer boosters to the varsity girls soccer team in the amount of $2,500 for alternate uniforms. So moved, Stephen.
Second.
Seconded by Diane. Any discussion?
Thank you to the boosters.
Very generous of boosters, thank you. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Any abstentions, motion carries 9-0. Action item 10. Here's where we got some big hitters. We have 10 and 11 are big ones. So as we know, Jeffrey School and Ryerson are closed. So, the PTOs had to kind of convert over the money that they had banked, to the new school. So, this action item 10, I need a motion to approve a donation from the Jeffrey School PTO to Neck River Elementary School in the amount of $17,750 to be used for picnic tables and buddy benches.
So moved.
Diane,
Second.
seconded by Kathy, thank you. If anyone doesn't know, buddy benches are these special things that they have where, you know, you put it in the playground or the outside areas. And when you have, students out in the, playing in the area and a kid sits down on the buddy bench, it's kind of a sign that they would like a friend to come hang out with them. And somebody sees them there, they go over and they sit with them and strike up conversation, make friends. That's why it's called buddy bench. They're really cool. Apparently they really work. So, wonderful donation. Thank you, obviously. Any comments or questions?
I do have a question, so it is a fantastic donation. Is it specifically earmarked for just that purpose, and is that enough?
I think it was just for those two things, right? Yeah.
Yes, and we have. the
But this one.
It covers it.
Yeah,
Okay, that's great, thank you. Anything else? All in favor, aye. All opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries 9-0. Thank you. Action item 11. Hold on to your seats for this one.
I think there's a typo.
Is there?
The donation sheet says the Ryerson PTO is able to fund a gift to Brown Elementary
Yes.
School.
That would, you're right.
Right, oh, Brown.
All right, so I need a motion in that case. I'll take it from.
I think no, I don't think it's a typo, right? It's the Ryerson PTO. Having
So-
money towards it.
The Brown Elementary.
Yeah.
for the
It said Brown.
So Brown.
Brown.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Once-
I was on the motion.
Yes,
The action item says Brown, if you look at the donation sheet, it says who's making the donation, it says Brown PTO. They had already changed the name of PTO organization at the time they cut the check says Brown PTO. It's money from Ryerson, but to make it kosher,
okay,
it needs to
so,
say Brown because that's what the check says. from
okay,
Ryerson.
so it is Brown School PTO, but.
Yeah. The brand.
It's Ryerson
newly
money,
minted
but
Brown
it's
School.
it's the new Brown PTO, but it needs to be correct.
Ryerson.
Just because they didn't match. Did you? I'm gonna double check you though.
And you're gonna be wrong.
Well, they just didn't match.
Yeah, no, I know, you're right.
But I mean, just so everyone is aware, the money followed the students.
Yes,
So that's why Jeffrey went to Neck River and Ryerson went to Brown.
yes. Thank you.
Yes.
So,
Brown one.
since you brought this up, Diane, I will entertain a motion from you if you'd like to approve a donation from the newly minted Brown School PTO to Brown Elementary School in the amount of $31,830 for a playground communication board and to cover field trips for all students for the year.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Was me. All right, wonderful donation. Thanks again. Any comments or discussion? Questions? All right, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries 9-0. I need an action item to, action item 12. I need a motion to approve the minutes of the June 17th, 2025 Board of Education meeting. So moved. Stephen, thank you. I have a second.
Second.
Here again. Any discussion, Diane, did you find anything on there to fix? Okay. All in favor, aye. All opposed, nay. No abstentions, motion carried 9-0. Any requests for future agenda items? Yes, Mary
I
Ann.
wanna talk about the cell phones. Schools.
All right, we are going to discuss technology policy at our upcoming retreat.
Should we recommend one? When is our retreat? Is that
Yes,
Is that-
this month, yeah,
this month?
Yeah.
Okay.
so
It's in September.
it's later this month, September 30th. So,
I'm just that I want the numbers from the.
numbers.
CIP, 75K, 25K,
yes,
Okay, and we're gonna, so we'll start talking about it.
yes, exactly. And then there will be opportunity for public discussion on it. It won't only be
No, no, I
at our
know.
retreat.
Feel like we need to. do
Yeah.
something.
Yep. Totally.
Would that just be limited to cell phones or other electronic devices as well?
Yeah, what we're trying to do is, and you weren't on the board yet, but last spring we talked about, we kind of had our last 4-year-long sustained priority kind of, initiative was, to kind of, do a full court press on social emotional learning. And while we never stopped that, we feel we're in a very good place there, so we wanted to turn to look at what the next big initiative will be. And that's when we came up with, we're really right to discuss and update our technology policies and initiative. So that's gonna be our philosophy, not initiative. So that's gonna be our next big push as a board. And it's a good time to discuss it because it's a hot topic right now. So, and we discussed this with Superintendent Cook, and he was very happy to take it on and took it on as one of his goals for the next year. And has been working on it over the summer with the administration, so they've already got a head start. I believe Stephen is gonna be presenting on some of this stuff at our retreat. And Galen and Emily, as our vice chair and secretary, are gonna kind of be hosting the retreat. That's how it generally works, so.
It's good.
All right. Thank you. All right, so Mary Ann wants to discuss phones and technology. And Tony. Security. 5,000.
I'm about to make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, that's the next thing up. I need a motion to adjourn. Diane, 2 seconds. Kathy. And it is 8:07. Any discussion? Of course not.